Part 278. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2771. Chapter 2771. Did I do something wrong? Yeah, I didn't really like Zhang Xinyu at first, but now I feel a little pitiful about her. Zhanbo is quite gentlemanly and kind to other female artists, but he is really too cold towards her. It's said that Zhanbo is just to vent his anger on his friends and that he is righteous, but I think he really goes too far. Even if Zhang Xinyu took advantage of Qiao Mianmian's popularity, she didn't offend him, right? He is a senior and a man, but treating a girl like this is so disrespectful and ungentlemanly. I seem to have seen a scene in which I was ostracized before. I also think Zhanbo is a bit too much. He shouldn't be like this. Brother is not like this usually. I think Qiao Mianmian said something to him that made him act like this. Hey, my brother is just a fool. He doesn't know what happened when he was taken advantage of. But he wholeheartedly helped. Others took the lead, but in the end it was him who was scolded and blackmailed. I hope my brother will keep a distance from Qiao Mianmian. As a married woman, her husband should help her out if anything happens. Why do we always ask our brother to do such thankless things for her? Yes, silly brother. Qiao Mianmian is already a married woman, why do you still need to help her? Is there anyone who can remind him not to be so stupid again, otherwise he will really be raped? Black. Seeing that many voices criticizing Zhanbo suddenly appeared in the live broadcast room, Zhanbo's fans were a little anxious. They all shouted to Zhanbo to keep distance from Qiao Mianmian and stop standing up for Qiao Mianmian. In the past, fans were not very resistant to the fact that Zhanbo and Qiao Mianmian had a good relationship. Even a little happy to see the results. Mainly because Qiao Mianmian is already married. Moreover, Qiao Mianmian herself is the daughter of a wealthy family, and her husband is a super boss. Zhanbo becoming good friends with her will also be beneficial to her career development. But now, after seeing the negative news about Zhanbo because of Qiao Mianmian, fans are hoping that Zhanbo can immediately draw a clear line with Qiao Mianmian. The voice in the live broadcast room was naturally unknown to Qiao Mianmian and Zhanbo at the moment. Zhang Xinyu was once again scorned by Zhanbo, and the smile on her face suddenly became a little unsustainable. Zhan, Senior Zhan. May I ask if I have done anything wrong to offend you? Zhang Xinyu bit her lips, a little aggrieved on her face. Zhanbo frowned and was about to speak when Qiao Mianmian quickly pulled off his sleeve and spoke before him. The name of the restaurant is Marcy's Kitchen. Zhanbo doesn't think there is anything to recommend because of that restaurant. The taste is quite average, not very distinctive. Don't think too much about it, it doesn't mean anything else. As soon as Qiao Mianmian finished speaking, Zhang Xinyu turned to look at her. The moment their eyes met, she felt a hint of coldness and a hint of inexplicable hostility. But Zhang Xinyu's voice was aggrieved. Senior Qiao, is this really like this? Didn't I really do something wrong to make you angry? The moment she and Zhang Xinyu looked at each other, Qiao Mianmian felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity again. But she still didn't know where that familiar feeling came from. She was pretty sure she had never seen Zhang Xinyu before. But when she sees Zhang Xinyu, she always feels familiar. It's like, the two of them know each other. There is also Zhang Xinyu, whom Zhanbo said before, who is hostile to her. This time, Qiao Mianmian felt it herself. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2772. Chapter 2772. A strong feeling of discomfort came to my heart. Qiao Mianmian felt very strange. She really couldn't figure out the reason. Logically speaking, if she feels familiar every time she sees Zhang Xinyu, then they should have known each other before. At least, I have seen it. But if she had really met Zhang Xinyu, it would be impossible for her to have no memory at all. With this strange feeling, Qiao Mian glanced at Zhang Xinyu again. The moment their eyes met, Qiao Mian felt inexplicably familiar again. She frowned in confusion. Senior Qiao. Zhang Xinyu's aggrieved voice sounded again. Qiao Mian came back to her senses immediately and suppressed the weird feeling in her heart. Don't think too much, it really has nothing to do with you. Also, you'd better not call me Senior Qiao, we should be about the same age. Just call me by my name. Okay, Zhang Xinyu agreed immediately and said in an affectionate tone, you are 1 year older than me. Can I call you Sister Mian? Qiao Mian was not happy for her to call herself this. But it's hard to say no. If she refuses again. This really solidifies the evidence that their small group is ostracizing Zhang Xinyu. She doesn't care and there is no black material. Anyway, she has been a dirty person before, and this is not the first time. But Zanbo is different. Zhanbo is a high-quality idol who has always been in the circle with positive energy and a positive image. He has not had any negative news since his debut. Qiao Mian really doesn't want Zhanbo to be saddled with any negative news because of herself. Although Zanbo could still inherit his father's billions in wealth if he didn't join the entertainment industry, and it would be impossible for him to live in poverty, but Zanbo, a second-generation rich man who is not short of money, insists on being in the entertainment industry. It must be because of his hobby. Since it is a hobby, we cannot lose this hobby because of her. Of course, Qiao Mian smiled kindly. That's great. Zhang Xinyu's eyes showed joy, and she looked very happy. She happily took Qiao Mian's hand and said in a friendly tone, Sister Mian, then you can call me Xinyu. Sister Mian, I am really happy. I have always liked you, especially the movie If You Can't Love that you starred in is so good. I have watched it over and over again. I really didn't expect that I would have the opportunity to be on the show with you. As Qiao Mian held her hand, a strong feeling of discomfort surged into her heart, making her want to throw away Zhang Xinyu's hand immediately. But she tried her best to hold it back. Sister Mian, this is my first time on a program like this, and I don't understand many things. If there is anything I don't understand in the future, can I ask you? Zhang Xinyu, like a simple and ignorant little girl, pulled Qiao Xinyu along. The lingering hand said affectionately. Qiao Mian, well, okay. Beside Qiao Mian, Zhanbo's fiery eyes were able to see through Zhang Xinyu's pretense of innocence at a glance. He resisted the urge to roll his eyes and stretched out his hand to pull Qiao Mian, let's talk about it later, let's go get the mission first. At this time, Brother Li, the person in charge of this program, came over. He glanced at the few people who arrived first, and then said to a few people, everyone is almost here, then I will start issuing tasks. Now you draw lots to form a team. We will be divided into 3 groups ABC. Those who both get the same letter will be counted as one group. Okay, let's start drawing lots. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2773. Chapter 2773. Can we do it again? Hearing the rules of the game, Zhanbo was stunned. Draw lots? Can't you combine them freely? He had already agreed with Qiao Mian that they wanted to be a group. Furthermore, he only wanted to be with Qiao Mian. He is not familiar with the remaining 2 female artists, whether they are Zhang Xinyu or Su Minor. He felt very awkward having to form temporary parents to take care of the baby together. Li Wei shook his head. In the first 2 episodes, you can freely combine them. However, the rules of some programs have changed this time. Now you have to draw lots to form a team. Zanbo, damn it. Had he known this, he wouldn't have come to this show. Asterisk. A few minutes later, the results of the draw came out. Chiao Mian and Chin Han both drew lottery A, and they became a pair of temporary parents. Su Min'er and Xie Hong formed a team. The remaining team is Zhan Bo and Zhang Xinyu. When Zhan Bo found out that he and Zhang Xinyu were actually in a team, he almost went berserk. He was unwilling to be in the same group as Zhang Xinyu. I don't want to confirm the result of such a draw. Since the live broadcast was still going on, he couldn't get angry in public, so he held back his anger and pulled Li Wei aside, lowered his voice and discussed with Li Wei, "Brother Li, can this lottery be done again? Are you trying it again?" Li Wei was stunned. "Are you dissatisfied with this lottery method?" "I'm not dissatisfied with the method of drawing lots. It's just that I don't want to be on the same team as Zhang Xinyi." Zhan Bo didn't mince words with Li Wei and said directly, "I can be on the same team as Su Minor, but can we not be Zhang Xinyu? The show will be filmed for more than half a month. The temporary parents who form a team will definitely have a lot of contacts in the future. After all, we have to take care of the baby together." When he thought that he would be with Zhang Xinyu for more than half a month, Zhan Bo had the urge to quit the show. The reason why he dislikes Zhang Xinyu is not entirely because of Chiao Mian. Although most of the reasons are indeed because of Chiao Mian. After listening to his request, Li Wei frowned in embarrassment. "Zhan Bo, I know you may have some opinions on Zhang Xinyu, but now that the results of the lottery have come out, if you propose to draw again, this will be targeted. It's just too obvious. That's not good. And there has never been anything like this before. I think you can try to put aside some of your prejudices and get in touch with Zhang Xinyu. Maybe she is not a difficult person to get along with. Of course, if you strongly demand to smoke again, you can discuss it with other staff members of the program team." Zhan Bo was silent for a moment and then changed his mind. "Forget it, let's do that. If you draw it again, it will indeed be too targeted. Anyway, it only takes half a month. Be patient and it will pass. If Zhang Xinyu is really intolerable to him, then he will have no choice but to quit the show early." Asterisk. After the three-person team is determined, the next round is to draw lots. Each team of temporary parents will draw their temporary children by drawing lots. The children participating in this program are 2 little boys and 1 little girl. 2 little boys, one is 4 years old and the other is 5 years old. The 4-year-old is called Daodu and the 5-year-old is called Tong Tong. The little girl is called Meng Meng. She is the youngest of the 3 children, only 3.5 years old. These children are also celebrities with millions of fans on Weibo. Tong Tong is still a child star and has already participated in several TV series. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2774. Chapter 2774. Is it necessary to keep a straight face like this? Before the lottery, Li Wei introduced the rules of the program to them. In a while, you will also draw lots to choose the children who will form a temporary family with you. The purpose of our program is to serve these children. So the program team will meet every day, arrange tasks for you, the intern parents, which are all related to taking care of your children. At the end of the mission, you will be graded by the program team and the audience outside the venue. Of course, your children will also grade you. The group with the lowest score every day will be punished, and similarly, the group with the best performance will also receive corresponding rewards. Everyone, are you ready? Let's start drawing lots now. Before Chiao Mian came on this show, she had a basic understanding of the children who were on the show with them. According to her understanding, the eldest Tong Tong is a caring and warm man, and he is also the most sensible and well-behaved of the 3 children. Taking him with you is basically a no-brainer. Daodu is timid and very dependent on others. Although he is a boy, his personality is more like that of a girl. As for the youngest and cute Xiao Mian, I don't know much about her. I only know that she is a little girl who looks as cute and beautiful as her name. Anyway, she looks well behaved and smart, so it shouldn't be difficult to take care of her. Asterisk. Soon, the results of this group of draws came out. Xiao Mian and Qin Han drew the only female doll among the three children, Meng Meng. Zanbo's group drew Daodu, who is extremely dependent on adults and very timid. Su Min's group selected Tong Tong, who is the most sensible and best to take care of. After knowing that she had chosen Meng Meng as her temporary daughter, although Xiao Mian was a little regretful that she had not chosen the best Tong Tong, she quickly accepted the result happily. She likes female dolls more. I also hope that I can give birth to a beautiful baby girl in the future. She thought it was good to experience what it was like to raise a daughter in advance. Su Min's group was also very happy. After all, everyone knew that Tong Tong was the best to lead, and relatively speaking, the difficulty of completing the task was definitely the lowest. Among the three people, only Zhanbo's group had a bad atmosphere. There was no smile on the face of expectant father Zhanbo, and there was zero communication with expectant mother Zhang Xinyu. The two did not look like teammates. Rather like a stranger. The number of people in the live broadcast room has reached more than 15 million. If there are many people watching, there will naturally be many people discussing. Zhanbo and Zhang Xinyu seemed to be in an awkward group, and there were more and more voices criticizing Zhanbo. It feels like Zhanbo is getting more and more excessive. Is it necessary to keep a straight face like this? Zhang Xinyu is unlucky enough to form a team with him. What's going on with Zhanbo? Even if he really doesn't like Zhang Xinyu, there's no need to make it so obvious. Seeing now, I also think Zhanbo is a bit too much. I didn't really like Zhang Xinyu at first, but now I feel a little sympathy for her. Zhanbo's fans have also been in the live broadcast room. When they saw someone saying that Zhanbo was not good, they immediately jumped out to help Zhanbo. I didn't expect anyone to speak up for Zhang Xinyu. A woman like her who deliberately tries to gain popularity and steals spots on other people's shows is shameless. How can she expect others to like someone like her? That's right, my brother has gone too far. Being with such a shameless woman is very uncomfortable. I feel sorry for my brother, he is so unlucky to be with such a shameless woman. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2775. Chapter 2775. I was so heartbroken by the shouting. The quarrel in the live broadcast room was fierce. Zanbo was quickly discussed and became a hot search topic due to negative news. Contain newcomers hashtag. Expose Ang by violence Zhang Xinyu hashtag. Asterisk. Okay, the lottery is over now. Everyone has drawn the children they will take care of. Your next task is to take your children back and cook a good meal for them. This meal is your first mission. The success of the mission is mainly judged by your children. If the meal satisfies them and makes them feel delicious, then the mission is successful. Otherwise, it means the mission failed. You will have to accept the corresponding punishment when the time comes. The program team has put the ingredients in the refrigerator in your room. The ingredients are for one day. You are free to mix and match what you want for each meal. Now, the staff is going to pick up your children. Please wait a moment. As soon as Li Wei finished speaking, Xiao Mian heard a milky voice. It is the voice of a female baby, and the little voice is very cute. Shoo, can I see my dad and mom soon? The staff member's voice was also very gentle. Yes, Meng Meng will be able to see her parents soon. Will Meng Meng be nervous? Meng Meng is not nervous. Xiao Nai's voice was loud and clear. You said Meng Meng's father is a handsome guy and her mother is a beautiful woman, right? Well, the cute new dad is a super handsome guy, and the new mother is a super beautiful girl. Meng Meng likes handsome guys and beauties the most. Xiaomi, let's go faster. I want to see dad and mommy as soon as possible. Xiao Nai's voice was impatient. After a while, Chiao Mian saw the staff walking out of the elevator holding a little girl wearing a pink princess dress. The little girl has curly hair and wears a big pink bow headband. Her facial features are very delicate and beautiful, and she looks as cute as a doll. Li Shu, as soon as she came out of the elevator, the little girl saw Li Wei standing outside, let go of the staff's hand, and ran towards Li Wei with cheers. Li Wei immediately knelt down, smiled and stretched out his hand to hold the little girl in his arms. The little baby jumped into his arms, hugged him coquettishly and shouted twice more, Li Shumo. Meng Meng, dear, can Li Shumo take you to meet your father and mother? Li Wei touched the little girl's head and said in a gentle voice. Okay, the little girl said with a milky voice. Li Wei slowly stood up with the little girl in hand, and then led her to Chiao Mian and Qin Han. Meng Meng, these are your parents. You will be with your parents soon. You have to listen. Do you know what they said? The little girl raised her head, her big purple grape-like eyes looking at Qin Han and Chiao Mian curiously. After looking at each other for a while, she asked in a sweet voice, are you my dad and mom? This was the first time that Chiao Mian was called mom. Although she is a temporary daughter. But she was also so excited by the sound of milk that her heart softened. She immediately knelt down and reached out to touch the little girl's head. Her voice became gentle unconsciously, well, are you Meng Meng? Meng Meng is so beautiful, like a little princess. Mama is so pretty too, like a little princess. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2776. Chapter 2776 just coax you casually. The little girl blinked and looked at Chiao Mian for a while, her eyes were bright, and she suddenly threw herself into Chiao Mian's arms, hugged her and started acting coquettishly, Mom, you look so beautiful, like a fairy. Elder sister. I like Mom, Mom is so beautiful. The fragrant and soft ball fell into her arms, and Chiao Mian's heart suddenly melted into a ball. She stretched out her arms to hug her daughter and kiss the face. Meng Meng is also a little fairy, Mom. I also like Meng Meng. Ahahaha, the little girl is so cute. Fragrant and soft, pink and tender, soft and waxy in your arms, it feels really good to the touch. At this moment, Chiao Mian's motherly love was completely aroused. She doesn't find it troublesome at all to have a baby. She couldn't help but think about what it would be like if she and Mo Yesi had a daughter. She must be a very, very beautiful little fairy. Must be loved by everyone. She really wanted to have a daughter. Meng Meng only likes her mother, but doesn't she like her father? Qin Han on the side also squatted down and said jealously. The little girl was lying in Chiao Mian's arms coquettishly. When she heard Qin Han's voice, she slowly turned her head and stared at Qin Han for a few seconds. Then her big grape-like eyes lit up, are you Meng Meng's dad? Qin Han smiled very gently, yes. Wow, Dadba is so good looking, and Meng Meng likes Dadba too. Obviously, the little girl is a complete beauty control. After seeing her handsome father, she immediately opened her hands and asked Qin Han to hug her. Daddy, give me a hug. Qin Han likes children, especially such a cute little girl. He likes them even more. Facing the little girl's hug, he happily picked up the little girl from Chiao Mian's arms. The little girl is obviously very satisfied with her new parents and likes them very much. She lay in Qin Han's arms, hugged Qin Han's neck and took the initiative to kiss Qin Han, then turned her head and kissed Chiao Mian. Seeing this, Li Wei said with a smile, it seems that our cute little princess is very satisfied with her in turn parents. Next, Mom and Dad will take your little baby back to their respective rooms to prepare for your little baby. Make a hearty and delicious lunch. Chiao Mian and Chin Han had just left with Meng Meng when the elevator door opened again. The staff led two other young guests out. The oldest Tong Tong is indeed the most sensible and best to take care of. After the staff told him who his temporary parents were, he took the initiative to call someone first and quickly established familiarity and trust with his temporary parents. Intimacy. Subsequently, Tong Tong was taken away by Su Minor and Xie Hung. The last guest, Daodu, was still looking at his new father and new mother timidly. The little guy's eyes were red, as if he was about to cry, even though the staff told him that Zhang Xinyu Zhenbo was his father and mother, but he still pursed his lips and did not call anyone. Daodu, call me Mom and Dad. Li Wei knelt down and whispered in his ear, Mom and Dad like Daodu very much, don't Daodu like them? Qiao Angzhen wanted to show off and establish the image of a gentle and virtuous good mother. When she saw this, she squatted down, followed what Qiao Mian did just now, reached out to touch Daodu's head, and then whispered softly, you are the one Daodu, Daodu is so handsome. She thought that the children could be coaxed casually, and that raising children was not difficult at all. Who knows, it would have been better if she didn't coax him. The little boy who was holding back tears just now burst into tears with a wow. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2777. Chapter 2777. Why is today so abnormal? The little boy stretched out his hand to push her away and cried loudly, I don't want you to be my mommy, I want my own mommy. I don't want to be here, I want to go home, I want to go home. Qiao Angzhen didn't expect that the little boy would push her away. So even if the other person was only a 4-year-old child, this push almost pushed her to the ground. Her expression suddenly changed. Just when I was about to have an attack, I suddenly remembered that I was recording a program, so I had to forcefully suppress my anger. But she was very angry. Damn it! What kind of wretched child was given to her? He was not well behaved at all. Hearing this cry made her so upset that she really wanted to gag him with something. Li Wei didn't expect the little boy to react like this. Seeing the little boy crying so sadly, he hurriedly knelt down to comfort him and said, Why are Daodu crying? No one bullies you. Before you came on the show, wasn't it? Did you promise your parents that you would be good and stop crying casually? Li Shumao, I want to go home. The little boy's eyes were still full of tears and he was crying hard. Li Wei was a bit confused, baby, you are here to record a program. You have to wait until the recording is finished before I can send you home. Didn't I tell you everything before you came, and you agreed? Why do you want to go home now? Don't be afraid. Li Wei pulled the little boy out of his arms, pointed at Qiao Angzhen and said, This is your new mother. You will live with your new mother for the next half-month, and she will take good care of you. Yes, Daodu, can you go with mommy? Qiao Angzhen pretended to be gentle, and then reached out to touch the little boy's head, trying to regain the face she had just lost. Don't be afraid, Daodu, mom is not bad guy, mom will love you. I don't know. As soon as she stretched out her hand, before it even touched the little boy's head, the little boy dodged it. As if he was avoiding something terrible, the little boy crawled into Li Wei's arms. No, I don't want it. Li Shumao, I don't want her to be my mother, I don't want her to go with her, I don't want it. Being rejected again, Qiao Angzhen couldn't hold back the smile on her face. Even Li Wei felt a little embarrassed. Although the previous little guests also had some problems, they didn't clamor to go home like Daodu. And Daodu has always been very obedient. Why are you getting angry now? But he is a child after all, so he can only be coaxed. Li Wei asked patiently, Daodu, aren't you the most obedient and well-behaved? Tell Li Shumao why you don't leave with the new mother. Don't you like her? The little boy glanced timidly at Xiao Angzhen, just in time to catch the flash of haze in Xiao Angzhen's eyes. He was so frightened that he buried his head in Li Wei's arms again, hugged Li Wei tightly and cried wow again. Li Wei has one head and two heads. If it were other things, he could still handle it. But there was nothing he could do about coaxing the child. I don't know what's going on with Daodu. He's usually fine. Why is he so weird today? Netizens in the live broadcast room couldn't help but discuss it one after another. This Daodu is really difficult to deal with. I feel like Li Wei is a little overwhelmed. The other two children are very well behaved. Daodu is not the youngest, so why is she so ignorant? She is so timid and doesn't want to participate in the show, so she shouldn't be allowed to come. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2778. Chapter 2778, insinuating that she doesn't know how to coax children. The other two children are very well behaved. Daodu is not the youngest, so why is she so ignorant? She is so timid and doesn't want to participate in the show, so she shouldn't be allowed to come. Daodu is just a 4-year-old child. Isn't it normal for him to miss his parents and go home? Those who accuse him are asking too much. Moreover, the staff held Daodu from the elevator. Wasn't he fine when he came out? He only started to make trouble after seeing Zhang Xinyu. I also discovered that Daodu didn't cry or make trouble at first. But when he saw Zhang Xinyu, he seemed to be frightened, crying, and making trouble. What he said was that he didn't want Zhang Xinyu to be his mother, which shows that he didn't like Zhang Xinyu. Children are very sensitive and can sense whether the other person is kind or hostile. I think, Daodu may have felt something that made him behave like this. The little boy hugged Li Wei and refused to let go. Li Wei couldn't coax him for a while. Just when he didn't know what to do, he stood aside without saying a word. Zhanbo, who had been watching coldly for a long time, suddenly said, "Daodu, do you want to play games with me?" As soon as Zhanbo finished speaking, the crying of the little boy who was crying sadly in Li Wei's arms suddenly stopped. Zhanbo took out his mobile phone in a hurry and opened King Pesticide. "If you stop crying and listen to me, I will let you play a game. What do you think? Do you want to play or not? Do you want to listen to me?" Of. After he finished speaking, he waved his cell phone towards the little boy. The little boy, whose eyes were red from crying a second ago and whose face was stained with tears, looked at his mobile phone and his eyes were bright. Zhanbo curled his lips, walked up to him slowly, and squatted down. "Daodu, do you want to play a game?" The little boy blinked, and immediately stopped crying and making trouble. He looked at his mobile phone eagerly. "Think. Well, then just listen to me and I'll let you play." Zhanbo reached out and took the little boy from Li Wei's arms into his arms, and then picked up the little boy easily. "Now, you are not allowed to crying. I know you have a father, but now that I am your father, you have to live with me during this period of time, whether you like me or not. We, the temporary father and son, will make do with each other during this half-month. Is it okay? When this half-month passes, no one can care whether you want to go home or what you want. But before that, you have to listen to me as your father, understand?" Zhanbo handed over his mobile phone. The little boy, holding him in his arms, turned and walked towards the room behind him. Then, the group of people behind them stared at the little boy who had been crying non-stop just now, and was calmed down by Zhanbo with just a few words. The little boy held in Zhanbo's arms stopped crying or making trouble, and just let Zhanbo take him away. Li Wei stared at it for a while and sighed. "I didn't expect that Zhanbo, a young man, is very good at coaxing children." The staff next to him also nodded and said, "Yes." Daodu immediately became good in front of him. Xiao Angzhen listened to their conversation. The expression on his face was not very good. She thought Li Wei and the others were insinuating that she didn't know how to coax children. And what does that Zanbo mean? They are now in the same group. He actually just hugged that broken child and walked away without saying a word to her from the beginning to the end. What does he mean? Is he deliberately neglecting himself because of that Jiao Mian Mian? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2779. Chapter 2779 Still can't satisfy her? The little really doesn't change her nature. Wherever I go, I never forget to hook up with a man. Could it be that such an excellent man as Mo Yesi couldn't satisfy her? She already has the most outstanding man in the world, and has made countless women envious and jealous of her, which is enough for her. But he is still greedy. Even outside, she was hooking up with other men. A woman like this, who is always around and has a lot of fun, would have been in a pig cage in ancient times. Qiao Angzhen really doesn't understand. Why are there so many men willing to fall for such a casual woman? Other men are just fine. But why can't even a smart man like Mo Yesi fail to see through her true face? There is also the current exhibition. He knew clearly that Jiao Mian Mian was married, but he still protected a married woman like this. Jiao Mian Mian, this shameless bitch. She must tear apart her hypocritical face and let everyone know how slutty she is. Asterisk. After Jiao Mian Mian and Qin Han led their daughter back to the room, Jiao Mian Mian asked Qin Han to watch Meng Meng. You play with Meng Meng, I'll go to the refrigerator to see what dishes are there. If there are 3 of us, I think 4 dishes and 1 soup are enough. Qin Han expressed no objection to her arrangement and nodded, okay. If you need my help, just call me. I'm not very good at cooking, but I can still help you. Well, if there's anything I need your help with, I won't be polite. Jiao Mian Mian walked over, pinched Meng Meng's little face, and said in a soft voice, Meng Meng, Daddy will play with you, and Mommy will help you. Is it good to cook? If you have anything you want to eat, tell Mom. Meng Meng raised her pretty pink face and said in a milky voice, Mom, Meng Meng wants to eat ice cream, is that okay? Ice cream? Jiao Mian Mian was stunned. Although she has never taken care of children, she also knows that children cannot eat these sweets often. And there's probably no ice cream in the refrigerator either. She thought for a while, then reached out to touch Meng Meng's little head. Baby, would you like to change it to another one? Children will get cavities if they eat sweets. We are so beautiful, Meng Meng, but it won't look good if we get cavities. Little girls are all pretty. Even a 3-year-old girl. As soon as Jiao Mian Mian said that she would not be beautiful if she had cavities, she immediately shook her little head and said hurriedly, then Meng Meng won't eat ice cream. Meng Meng is so good. Jiao Mian Mian held her little face and kissed her. Can Mommy make you a steamed egg? Smart and good-looking children all like to eat steamed eggs. The pink and jade-like little girl blinked her big, watery eyes, full of curiosity. Will Meng Meng become smarter and more beautiful after eating steamed eggs? Of course. Jiao Mian Mian smiled. Our Meng Meng is already very beautiful and smart. After eating steamed eggs, she will become smarter and prettier, and more aunties and children will like you. Meng Meng wants to eat steamed eggs. Meng Meng wants to eat steamed eggs. Children are really easy to coax. As long as you are beautiful and smart, most of them will not refuse anything you tell them. This is what Zhang Luli taught Jiao Mian Mian. I didn't expect it to come in handy so quickly. Jiao Mian Mian coaxed the children, handed their daughter to Qin Han, and then turned to the kitchen. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 2780. Chapter 2780 I can't wait to catch her right away. Asterisk. In the live broadcast room of Jiao Mian and Qin Han. At the desk, the man's handsome face seemed to be covered with a layer of frost, and he looked gloomily at the warm and harmonious scene in the live broadcast room. Wei Zheng felt great pressure while reporting. Although he didn't know why his boss suddenly changed his face when he was doing well, he didn't dare to take a breath. He hasn't felt President Mo's anger for a long time. After all, Mr. Mo has such a good relationship with the young madam, and the two of them are so loving. As long as there is no conflict with the young madam, Mr. Mo basically never has a bad mood. Things at work in the past can still affect Mr. Mo. But now, the only one who can influence Mr. Mo is the young lady. So, Mr. Mo's sudden change of attitude, is it related to the young lady? But didn't the young lady go to participate in some variety show? Wei Zheng had a lot of questions in his heart, but he didn't dare to say anything or ask anything. He faced the extremely strong low pressure from his boss and continued to report on his work cautiously. The cooperation between our MO Corporation and Evergrande Group has been finalized. If nothing else happens, the contract can be signed smoothly this week. There is also the matter of setting up a branch in City D. The team responsible for the branch has also been selected. Mr. Mo, I have sent the list of the branch's leadership team to your email. If you have no objections, if so, I will notify you. The man, who was feeling depressed all over and had his head buried all the time, slowly raised his head, revealing a dark face. Wei Zheng's throat felt like something was strangling him. The moment he met Mo Yesie's eyes, he was speechless. He felt as if his little heart was frozen by the coldness in his boss's eyes. Can't even jump. Oh my God. Mr. Mo's face is so dark. It's really scary. Is it possible that the young lady did something to make him angry? Mr. Mo, you. Wei Zheng struggled to speak. I regret it. Mo Yesie suddenly said something that made him confused. Wei Zheng. His eyes were filled with little questions. Mr. Mo, what do you regret? The man with handsome appearance and noble temperament pursed his thin lips tightly, with a sullen look in his eyes. After a long silence, he whispered in annoyance, I shouldn't have let her participate in that variety show. I originally thought that this kind of variety show without ambiguous interactions was relatively safe. That's why he let her participate with confidence. But when he thought of the dazzling scenes he just saw in the live broadcast room, he wanted to catch her right away. This show actually made her share a room with another man? Also let her become a couple with another man? Also arranged a daughter for them? Although he has indeed not seen any ambiguous interactions so far, this arrangement alone is enough to make him angry. No matter what he said, it was impossible for Jiao Mian to attend. Mr. Mo, are you talking about the variety show that the young lady went to participate in? Wei Zheng had a sure expression on his face. He knew that if it wasn't something related to the young lady, Mo would never be so angry. Only young ladies have such ability. Mo Yesie said coldly, she didn't tell me that this variety show is like this. Wei Zheng, you go and do something right away. End of this chapter.